What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. This is a special Friday edition of the State of Wrestling, and that is Jake fucking DeMarco. What's going on, buddy?
Buddy, the universe, it tries to keep us like, magnets. We're always
How do they work?
back together, but they got us at opposite ends. They're trying to keep us apart. But what do? We flip and we stick. And that's right, we've come back connecting together after SummerSlam, after the AAA and Roman Reigns Avengers-style announcement, after AEW in Mexico. Oh, we have things to talk about and a lot to
AEW, the Dorito Super Show, where now apparently we get views by kicking ladies in the box. We can't get an extra ladies match on Dynamite, but we can get Christian Cage kicking. Who was it? Marina Shafir?
Yes, cooter to the pooter.
Kitty box. In the kitty box there.
One hell of a cunt punt.
There is a... Oh, my God. Excalibur said it on commentary. I think that's called some kind of punt. What are you doing, bud? I know, like, Tony Khan's special sock ended up on your face, but Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anyways, we're not going to waste any time. No warming up in the bullpen here, and we're not going to spend as much time on the Mud Show as we usually do until later on, because... we have a murderer's row of returns and debuts, and we're doing something different with you now. And hey, we haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sentimentally, like there's a lot of people on this list that I really like. Sentimental favorite, feel good story of the SummerSlam weekend has to be Kevin Owens.
Absolutely. I mean, I wasn't expecting him. I was on board for Randy, but for Owens, I was thinking Survivor Series. Yeah. He was one that I wasn't
we'll get to Randy in a second. Yet, do you know what I like? Do you remember when... Okay, I'm going to go back to AEW for a second. Do you remember when AEW was becoming a thing, and it was sort of like them versus NXT, and then they had that one pay-per-view where they did the double shot, where it was like, oh, Adam Cole's here. Well, fuck us, I guess. And then it's like followed right up by Bryan Danielson, and I don't think it was you. I think I messaged GUAPO, and I'm like, I think we might actually be fucked.
Yeah.
Back when I thought like AEW could actually do something.
And,
yeah. This was that in match form. It was a little bit of that, and it was a little bit of that WrestleMania where the New Day were the hosts, and at the very last second they like stuck the Hardys back in the ladder match.
33.
But they doubled down on it. Because when Aldis, and like shout out to Aldis, first of all, for the match with Gunther, but Aldis getting reinstated the same day was a bit much, but he came out the next night to say, oh, by the way, this is not a this is not a one-on-one match with Sammy and Balor anymore.
Yes.
I was like, okay, this is going to be something interesting. And then he brought out Gunther. I don't know why I'm saying Walter. And I was like, like, don't big up a surprise.
Right, triple threat, yeah. I was like, it makes sense, but...
I'm not going to lie, I was against it at first. Because if the surprise was just Gunther, it's like, that's not really a new face. That's not really a big surprise. And we just saw him last night, and now he's just taking up 2 spots on the card.
Yeah,
but the
I'm
bait
saying
and
I
switch
understand why they would do it, because he won the night before, so he got screwed out of the title. Like, the number one contendership is not fully random that they placed him in there. I'm not thrilled with it, certainly, but it wasn't like...
I'm saying if that was the end of the announcements, I would have been more down on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If that was the end of the announcements, I would have been like, I could have just taken Sammy and Balor one on.
Yeah.
But then when KO came out, KO looks like $1,005,000. Looks like he's been, he's obviously lost some weight. He's talked about losing some weight, but he's also bulked up a little bit. And from that point on, the story wasn't a Gunther story anymore. The story wasn't a Balor story anymore. The story wasn't a Sammy story anymore. And I think it was Simon Miller that said, if you're Balor, you should be pissed. If you're Sammy, you should be pissed. If you're Gunther, okay, you got 2 kicks at the cat on the same weekend. I'm not really going to buy him being that pissed.
Yeah.
But like it became Kevin Owens is back and we're putting him right back where he needs to be.
Yes.
Ironically, this is exactly what they're going to do with Naomi and Bianca when they come back from their respective baby making and whatnot. And people are going to say that that's totally fine.
Yes. And
Kevin Owens.
Congrats to obviously Bianca and Montez. That's great on them. But like you said, they will come right back into the position they're waiting on. Rio would be another one as well.
We don't know when that'll be though, because she's still got to come back from her fingering issue. She couldn't finger anymore, so they made a baby instead. God damn it. Anyways, I'm an asshole. It's fine. Kevin Owens being back. People crying in the crowd.
Yeah. Because a lot of people were thinking he would never be able to wrestle again. I mean, that's a severe injury. Yeah. And they never really outlined a return for him. They never said definitely yes, but they never said definitely no either. So there was always this air of
which is funny because I've been saying for a while, and we've discussed it quite a bit on here. Yeah, it's frustrating. Like, hey, you miss your favorite wrestler or whatever. You want to know how they're doing. You want to know what the story is. You want to know what the update is. I'm also very much on the if they don't want you to know, then we can all fuck off.
They would tell us if we need
now
to
we
know.
Well, it doesn't mean we don't sit here like wanting to know, but I'm very much in favor of the A, if they just want to keep it private, keep it private.
Yeah.
B, if they're keeping it private for a what do you call it, a surprise like this, where realistically speaking, like Paige had her come back at WrestleMania. Love to see Paige. It's good. Another one that came back from horrible injuries caused by Sasha Banks. Let's be real for a second. They want SummerSlam to be the WrestleMania of the summer. So even if you take out the whole like emotional, oh my God, he thought he might never wrestle again, and it's great just to see that he'll be able to wrestle again. It was also a pretty cool SummerSlam moment, to be fair, and a pretty cool step in that secondary WrestleMania tier level of show.
It paid off why they made Nick Aldis a GM again so quick, so he can act this plan. There was a lot of positives, I would say, from SummerSlam.
Oh, there's no negatives. There's no negatives.
There's a few. Not from this. In general, there's a few. But there's nothing like egregious or major or like a stunning standout. And that was kind of the problem too. Like the Hell in a Cell wasn't a failure. Like nothing was horrible. Even the Danhausen match. A lot of people are complaining about the bulldog from the root beer, got that dog in you. It was a 3-second toast after the match, after he already won. The pyro went off, and then he does the quick little pose. Did it really hurt anything? I could see if he had to wear the bulldog during the match. See,
here's the thing. But he had the match. He had the moment of respect with Penta after. That's a separate thing. He had his moment with his family. That was a whole other separate thing that was given time. And then they threw on the advertising at the end. It ain't that different from every time Austin won a match and somebody chucked him a beer. Now, it wasn't a mascot, but when he drove in there with the beer truck, it sure was a labeled beer truck.
Yes, always.
Let's not pretend that this is all like reinventing the wheel type stuff. But I do
that's what I get upset over. Like when people they go nuts, and if you want to get upset about certain things, like them cutting entrances at WrestleMania for ads is something to get upset about. Getting rid of video packages, all the things that we once like kind of held dear. They're like, forget it. Yeah, that's something to be upset over. But this, I just felt like it was like people getting upset for the sake of being upset.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Here's the thing as well, right? I hate the advertising argument because do you want to go back to paying $60-$65 per pay-per-view?
Exactly. Like there are alternatives to this. That are
not to
great.
Be like cold calculated. Oh my God. I saw online on Twitter at some point today, our buddy Big Nick was making some good points to some people, and the dickhead guy that he was arguing with was just, I guess you work for corporate, I guess you work in the finance department. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bud?
Yeah.
And like, would I say that anyway? Because like Nick's a friend of the channel, and like I know he's like a decent guy, but like it's a stupid argument anyway.
Yes,
but I feel like you and I
anyway. have a real superpower of even if we are biased, see through
the bullshit.
Yes, we can see through the bullshit, and even if it is a friend, like if their argument fails the sniff test, we're not like, guess what? No matter what, they're held up to they're right, and yet no, like that's not how this works. And
this is the thing. Like this is why
you've called me out for stupid takes and vice versa, and we've been wrong. But a lot of people can't do that, and they can't admit not even just fault, but like they can't have a differing opinion. And We saw
But see,
it a
the
lot
thing
with the
about
live
you,
stuff, but
the thing about you and me and people like Cody, we get GUAPO on here occasionally. We shout out the Wrestling for Life guys all the time. There's a reason. I probably agree with them about 50% of the stuff that they say over on their channel, but even the stuff that I disagree, they present it, and I'd like to think that I do the same, even though I'm a bit of an asshole. Like, I have a point, or they have a point, or you have a point, or Cody has a point. I might not agree with it, but you're not just stomping your feet, drawing your line in the invisible sand and saying, nope, I'm right because I'm right. Like,
absolutely.
I might not, we might be coming at it from a different direction, but this is where I say, like, about the ads thing, right? It's a it's a double point that I want to make here. I'm fine with as much advertising as they want to put in if it means I'm saving $65 or more a month on pay-per-views. I'm sorry, that might just be like the nihilist realist in me, or whatever, however you want to say it. The other side of the coin is, if you've watched any of the kickoff, if you've watched any of the kickoff before the actual show, but also like that kickoff, like midday, like hype everybody in the parking lot type thing. If you've watched that, if you've watched the countdown, if you've watched the go home shows leading up to it, you've seen the video packages already. Now, can I nail them because that means they're being really repetitive? Yes. But we're not missing anything if you've been paying attention to anything on the way up. And if anything, if I sat through the kickoff and I've seen the video packages, I don't really need to see them again. And if you throw a reel of like 3 ads in there of like, okay, I've got 2.5 minutes, I can go take a shit and refill the snack bowl. Like, there's worse things. Do you remember the Cracker Barrel brawl?
That's what, yes. And
the Godzilla versus King Kong tag match.
Nothing
I think it was on Rampage, so nobody saw it, but
will ever be, and I mean ever, Spaz.
Ever.
Horrific, horrid, nightmare-inducing, and not for the horror reasons intended. Texas fucking chainsaw match that they had on AEW, where they had the fake Leatherface come out with the saw of the chainsaw sounds being played over the PA, like they couldn't even get like a dummy chainsaw.
Okay, see, everybody get your notepads out. Everybody get your notepads out, because Spaz is actually going to stick up for AEW a little bit, right? I look at that the same as I look at the Danhausen stuff. Nobody can look at that, and I'm fully with you if you're like, okay, that was dumb.
Yes.
But like, nobody on AEW's side of the coin did that Texas Chainsaw cosplay thing and thought they were producing gold.
No one was like, oh, it's cool. They just shouldn't accept it. Or if they're not going to put the budget into it, then you don't accept and make your staff look like fucking idiots.
How much they put into it is a different story. I don't mind them doing something dumb and saying, I mind when they do something really, 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 really fucking dumb and act like it's the best thing ever. And this is my defense for Danhausen. Nobody is advocating for Danhausen off the back of the concert with Joe Hendry to main event next year's WrestleMania. That's not where he is. And you know what? You hear Danhausen talk, I don't even think it's where he wants to be. Like, there is a comedy spot. Santino, friggin' who else? R-Truth. A bit of the early Dominic Mysterio stuff, if we're fair about it.
Was comedy
Danhausen, like, nothing. Danhausen versus Santino Marella is not going to main event WrestleMania in Saudi. It's not. But it's not trying to. And that's where the difference is. Well, how come you defend this stupid thing and not that stupid thing? Well, because this guy over here that's doing the stupid thing isn't telling me to, like, wank off, fill my special sock, and give it 5 stars.
I mean,
anyway,
I'm not trying to. We'll go through this very, very quickly, but that's like one of the things where people still getting up, in a tizzy, up in arms over Meltzer's star ratings, and I'm like, do you not see, like, for years now you've known the pattern?
I never followed Meltzer. I never followed Meltzer once. It's kind of like Cornette in the sense of I don't follow either of them, but it is so funny to watch people online freak out about them, either treating them like they're gospel, respectively, or treating them like they're Satan, respectively.
Yes.
And I think it's so funny that, WWE has like WWE Radio now, and the Busted Open guys are all part of that and whatever. And I don't listen to them either, to be perfectly honest with you. I like Bully Ray, but I don't need to listen to him on a podcast.
No, I'm being honest. I never listened to Busted Open. I've seen clips and stuff, but it's just not.
I've seen clips as well.
Reaches.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I don't think there's anything that right with them. I don't love them. I don't hate them. They're them, and they're there. And I'm sure Bully Ray's. I'm sure Bully Ray's entertaining. I used to when Taz had his morning radio show. I used to listen to that religiously. That was the last thing I listened to like all the time. But my point being is like everybody, of course they bought up the radio station and now Busted Open Radio is just state-sponsored media for WWE. I'm like, what the fuck is Dave Meltzer?
Yes, but they're not even. They're still doing the same stuff. They're making criticisms. They're like, I could see if they were being fully disingenuous and were like, all of a sudden, on Sunday they're saying, it's not that great, and then Monday they're like, that was the greatest. You know what I mean? You could see the blatant switch, but that's not what happened. Like it's the same show.
Exactly.
And that's why I get bothered at the Fed comments that you and I receive at times. Not bothered, but like. I shouldn't say it doesn't bother me. It makes me chuckle. Like what I'm bothered by is the stupidity of people, and I'm like, how can someone exist day to day being that brain dead? How do they shower and eat?
I push back on that. I push back on that. If these people were actually stupid, they would have an excuse. It's if anything, it's weaponized ignorance. It's like them saying something. Saying something so horrible or so like wildly out of left field that they hope you think they're dumb and not just like blatantly propagandizing.
Evil. Yeah.
And you know what the thing is? And you and I have said this before. I'm a WWE guy. I probably am borderline propaganda for WWE, but I'll tell you why. And that's the difference.
Yes. You don't deny it.
This was good because AEW was the logo in the corner. What are we fucking doing?
But we're not going to defend things that suck.
No.
If we enjoy something truly, then we're like, hey, listen, this is something I like that, like WrestleMania Night 1, a lot of people I felt like were very disingenuously hating on it because it wasn't as bad as what they made it sound to be. Was it short? Yep, in the sense of the match length. Was there too many commercials? Yeah, but it was still a good show. But
here's the thing, like if something,
acted like it was a 1 out of 10, those Spaz. Like
what I don't get is if something's bad, you can say it's bad. You don't have to exaggerate yourself that it's terrible. I used to. Now, granted, my opinion on them has changed since then. I used to defend the Bellas because the Bellas used to get some horrific treatment online, like when they were in like the bulk of their run, right? And what I used to say back in the day is, okay, they're not great in the ring. But you're sitting there and you're calling them 2s because they're not 10s.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's not cool. Like, if somebody's a 7 instead of a 10, come out here and say that they're a 7. Don't come out there and say that they're a 2 for dramatic value.
Exactly, my friend. Exactly.
Anyways, speaking of dramatic value, holy shit. So Kevin Owens wins. We're getting Kevin Owens versus CM Punk at some point, which is fucking amazing.
I love that. And some people were saying, oh, it's Roman. I was like, how? That makes no sense. It's on Smack. Look how stacked SmackDown is as well.
That whole match started. Oof. That whole match got put into place initially because of Sami Zayn wanting to get back into the mix with Cody and Gunther and everybody else in that vein.
Yeah.
But what it means though is if Kevin Owens doesn't win, he's got 2 rivalries in the waiting of like heel Sami Zayn and a babyface but very frustrated Finn Balor. And both of them have him to face now before getting back in line and squaring up with Punk.
Yes.
I do think there's a story that goes, Sammy tries to get back at KO. They have their history, obviously. But Finn Balor goes through Kevin Owens to get to CM Punk at a prominent pay-per-view, and that's a huge moment for Finn Balor, who won the Universal title 10 years ago, and it's taken him this long to come back. Fantastic storytelling stuff. Now. Because WWE has a little bit of a sense of irony about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you keep cooking.
Do you remember when CM Punk came back at the Survivor Series, right?
Yes.
It was right after Randy Orton had come back. And there was the joke, even between the two of them, it's like, oh, can't I come back for 5 minutes? And, you came and you stole my spotlight, right? Randy Orton comes back this time, and the very next night we get Kevin Owens.
And it's like,
that's hilarious.
Bam. And on top of it, I kind of feel like Finn Balor also gets the Sammy treatment too. Like,
fair.
Every time Finn feels like he's about to ascend that mountain again and get close, we're like, he's going to be the number one contender. He's going to win this match and go on to face Punk. And they had an amazing match earlier in the year. It was fucking incredible. I still go back to that all the time. And it's funny how, like, the entrance, not being able to hear his music cues, just all of that meant something. And it's like, hey, they really... managed to strike a chord with Finn Balor fans there, and they followed up.
And he got his old music back. Yeah, his old music back as well. But I just love the whole idea that Randy Orton came back from injury, and then he was immediately overshadowed by CM Punk in the same night. He comes back from injury this time, and immediately the next night it's overshadowed by Kevin Owens. Yeah. But this is a backdoor way of saying Randy Orton also returned at SummerSlam. Came out, RKO'd Cody Rhodes. We're going to try that again without the Pat McAfee. So sadly, it's not going to be as good. But
hey,
Pat McAfee was where Brock announced his retirement as well.
Yeah,
he's being douchebaggery as a whole about that. Oh, they better not put him in the Hall of Fame. Spoiler: they're gonna put him in the Hall of Fame.
How would they not? And I'm just hung up on the Finn thing. That crowd.
Yep.
I still go back to that. And that's what I want more of, that passion, that energy. And having Brock return at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi doesn't do a damn thing for me. I've been done with Brock for a long, long time. Somebody went ahead, they basically like labeled out all of his matches. And not that the part-timer thing ever truly mattered. It's like, what do you bring? Because you don't need to have 600 matches a year to be the top star.
No.
But it really did show, like, his second year in the business officially, he has 141 matches, and then 2003 is 137. And then after that, it never breaks higher than 18. It goes 18, and then it doesn't go over, I think, 12 again, or 14 again, and that's it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 11, 11, 8, 3, 1, 8, 6, 2, 4.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. I don't want this to come off as a defense of that, because I do think the part-timer conversation, it's simultaneously an overplayed conversation and still an important conversation to have. Like, both things can be true, right? Yeah, he was a part-timer. Yeah, he shows up when he wants to, right? But at the same time, as a spectacle, as almost a sideshow, like, okay, he should have been kept out of the title picture a long time ago.
But as a spectacle, what the issue was,
Okay, as a spectacle, the fact that you don't see him as often does contribute to that.
That's why the he and Omos thing, like, I wasn't crazy about it, but that's what they needed Brock for, like those type of things. And the street fight against, Ambrose should have been a big deal. Like, that should have been crazy. Those type of things, basically.
And you see now that there's, like, not very many, because everybody still loves Oba, but there's a very small voice out there in the one corner of the internet that's like, saw all the things that Oba said in the post show about Brock and what he's contributed. And we've kind of read online where Brock took a lot of time with him, like behind the scenes and all that kind of thing, helping him be like a big guy in the big role type of thing. So he gave him his flowers, like in the post show type thing. Well, there he is. I guess he's just fine with, supporting abusers. And I'm like, okay, you're literally Sophie Cunninghaming Obafemi.
Yep.
How the fuck does that work?
I hate that mindset too, where, you did something here, so that must mean you support so-and-so. They did it for the White House UFC event. They did it for, like you said, Sophie in the UFC. Oh, she's a ring girl. That means she's McGregor's biggest defender. And it's like, wait, what? Like, the jump in logic is what always kills me.
It's one or two steps away from, you guys were in the same state, so you must be fucking. Like, not saying that Obafemi and Brock Lesnar are fucking. That would be awkward, and that would be a different podcast for a different time. Speaking of the post show, I should have said this in the Kevin Owens thing. Very cool to see Kevin Owens on the post show. First of all, talking about his struggles and whatnot, but second of all, taking some time because she was never a WWE star, but taking a minute out of his day to talk about Rebel and her struggles with ALS. TNA did a similar thing as well on one of their tapings recently. TNA is a different story because like she's an ex TNA knockout, but just, and it's not like, it is one of those like beyond like brand wars type things, obviously, but kind of cool to see Kevin Owens on that kind of big stage, taking a moment to not only give her props, but like, you know, send her some love and whatever. Like the wrestle in the very rare occasion where like the wrestling family is a real thing. Like I don't know much about ALS. You see people, I'm not gonna lie, but it sounds
a terrible
terrible.
disease. It's horrific, and I mean, no disease is great, but that's one that's exceptionally awful. And the way
and not that it matters because you don't want it to happen to anybody. But she was such a fun part of like early AEW, like her and Britt as that tandem, that act together.
Reba no Rebel, and
Rebel not Reba, Rebel not Reba, whatever it was. And then she was Tanea in TNA, I believe.
Yep. So I mean,
but yeah, but just
she was more
really
everybody
cool
backstage too. Like that was the big thing with her. Like she really made it like a family element. So I like seeing people do the positive reach out for her. They're gonna have that Rebel Heart show, and then people are like, oh, see, they're making fun of Johnny Gargano, and I'm like, because they have one half of DIY, so that's why they're saying Rebel Heart. You know, go sleep on a box, and I'm like, you're literally taking an ALS night campaign to turn it into what?
And here's the thing, like when it comes to stuff like that, AEW has done some questionable stuff, and I will have conversations with people about those questionable things. I don't think this is one of them.
Yeah, no.
There's some stuff that's been handled not so classy on their side. I don't want to, be raking other people's names, out from under the dust. I don't think this is the proper conversation to have that. So they don't hit 100% with stuff like this. This one sounds like it's going to be really good and sounds like one of those, again, like I'm the tribal asshole. I am the guy that's giving you the tribal asshole updates on the Battle of Chicago.
Yeah.
WWE's
but you're not doing it during an event where people are trying to benefit the health
where they're trying to show support and all this kind of thing.
That's never your or any asshole aficionado's real style.
Like, I don't like Griff Foley these days, but I don't mind that he's doing the ALS ice challenge. Everybody needs a bit of ice. Speaking of dogs barking, which we're really kind of not, but I'm going to make this transition work anyway. We lost one of our prodigal sons in WWE, and he showed up back in NXT. I know we're about a week and a half out from this now, but let's talk about that Waller pipe bomb.
God damn it. For fuck's sake. That's my second time using that term for good old producer Jer. This was amazing. I mean, really, holy hell, this was damn good. Why? Like you said, it was real. What's the best thing in wrestling? When you buy in, when you can relate. And the best part of it is, to me anyways, is the story when it plays out in front of your eyes for so long. And we've seen the long-term story implications of him having such a shitty career. It's the LA Knight syndrome all over again. We like this guy. Yeah, he's great.
All the digs carrying around, what did he say, like 250 pounds of irrelevancy and calling it Austin Theory. And the thing is, everybody's
TNA
made this
is
point.
A daycare, and
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, I guess they've got such a good working relationship with TNA. Yeah, he said it so that somebody else could come out there and say, fuck you, like, those are our partners, don't do that, or whatever.
Yeah, and I like how other people responded to the digs, like Matt Hardy, and
of course,
they're like, did he just throw that out because they're going to do some TNA business? If not, like, they're building to stuff, obviously, and that's the fun.
And you know what's funny is you can get somebody like Trick Williams, kind of did a same thing when he was like in TNA as the champion, but like shitting on TNA, and who buddied up to him right away was AJ Francis. Can you imagine how obnoxious the tag team of Grayson Waller and AJ Francis would be?
You know, it's like saying Cody would be here, but he's still allergic to the microphone, that Marty Jannetty. You know, that's what he did about Austin Theory. Fucking shit on his former, compatriot. And it was great. He didn't have to bring him up by name. The last 2 years of my career have been an embarrassment, and I'm man enough to admit it.
And I do like, here's the thing. They're killing an old problem that I had with the NXT system with this. They did it with Grayson. They've done it with Becky. They've done it with...
yep, I know exactly what you're going for.
Is the people that have gone up without being champion.
Oh, I was actually going to say this when they bring them back for things and don't make a big deal out of it. I agree as well.
That's also been hit and miss. But what I'm saying is there used to be a thing of, like, say, who do we like in NXT right now in the ladies division? Say Thea Hale, right? She's a mid-carder, right? So what if they decide on SmackDown they need more mid-carders, not necessarily main eventers? So they call up Thea Hale. She's an amazing character. I enjoy her in the ring. I know she's hit and miss for some people, but you go from mid-card in NXT to mid-card on SmackDown because they need mid-carders, right?
Yeah, it's their personality usually that gets everybody, but...
Right, no, and this is not a dig on Thea Hale. It's just a name.
I know it's not. I'm just throwing that in there.
But my old mentality with the NXT call-up system is, that kind of sucks. Like, she's never going to get the chance to be the NXT champion.
Yeah.
Because she's already hop, skipped, and jumped into the mid-card of the main roster. They are going the other way now. They had Becky Lynch bring the NXT championship to Raw. They had, Dolph Ziggler was never an NXT guy, but he went down to NXT and brought the title and sort of represented it all over the place. Now you got Grayson Waller, who was a guy... How are the NXT fans, how are they supposed to see him on the main roster when here in this last step, he never got a chance to be champion?
You're very right. But
they're slowly fixing that.
But there are some people that didn't need it, didn't get it. And you know what? For NXT...
not everybody's going to get it, but I always used to think that once you've gone up to the main roster, you're never going to get a chance to fix that. And they're pulling back on that. Oh my God, it's absolutely written in stone that we do things this way.
Yes.
Mentality, which is a long-standing frustration of mine.
Absolutely.
Huge,
and one of the things that I was
frustration of mine.
Upset usually over too is like you see them bring back Grayson Waller and Bayley because you mentioned them both together and a few other names recently on the house show tours. And it's like Grayson Waller has been featured on Raw in forever. We haven't seen him. The New Day's done. We don't know what he's doing. Holy shit, here he is on NXT. Now, granted, they may not be ready for the story part of it yet, but still, like, they do it often. They bring in people, and I feel like they don't always make the proper big deal they should or could of it.
You also have to draw a line because two separate things happen, right? Like, if again, I'm going to go to somebody we like Tatum Paxley, right? If she gets herself in a 2-on-1 scenario on NXT, and then they announce, oh man, next week it's going to be Tatum Paxley and whoever she can find to take on so-and-so and so-and-so, right? To take on like whatever the heel tag team is, right? Yes. And for one night only, the surprise pop is her tag team partner's Paige.
Yeah.
Right? Now that's awesome, but that's a cameo. I made a call to a friend time. That's a lot different. And all these special shows where people kind of... Yeah, these special shows where people randomly come and make a cameo versus Grayson Waller's here because he's back in NXT.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Paige
the same
came
thing
down
as
for a cup of coffee in essence in that example.
Well, she came to make a special appearance. She came to help out a young talent. But it's the same thing as I see people make this, and I really do think it's in bad faith, right? They say, oh, we made a big deal about Gunther's contract moving to SmackDown. We made a huge deal about, CM Punk getting a title shot because he decided to sign a brand new contract to SmackDown, but the Usos just kind of show up whenever. Yeah, it's Raw superstars, the Usos, showing up on SmackDown. It's not the Usos are now on the SmackDown roster.
Exactly.
That's the difference. And this is what I say about weaponized ignorance. People pretend they don't know the difference because if they pretend they don't know the difference, then they can pretend they've got a gotcha. And I don't get it at all. Waller getting immediately in the mix, again, with somebody else that we're going to talk about in a second. And Tony D's going up soon. And I'm nervous because when he was doing the Mafia Don thing, I was like, how does that translate onto the main roster?
Yeah.
He's sort of dropped that. but he's dropped that in favor of like, I'm just a regular guy.
I'm just a guy. Yeah,
I'm just a guy.
The reason that works is because people knew the Mafia Don character and accepted the transition of the story developing from one phase to the next. If you just bring him up as a guy, you don't have any preconceived notions or things to fall back on. And that's going to be
here's my thing, though.
And that's a huge problem with NXT call-ups a lot of times, is that the majority of the audience doesn't know who they are, and they typically do what? A bad job of introducing us to new talent. So,
well, here's the thing, is in all fairness, when they put up Tony D, you have to tell the main roster, who are we introducing? Because you can go from like, okay, I had this really, really gimmicky gimmick to I'm going to be more of a real guy. But when you go up to the main roster, you still have to be able to tell the people that put the main roster together, okay, who is this just a guy?
Yeah.
And I don't think I like Tony D, so I give him a lot of latitude in that regard, but they do have to kind of decide what he is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But so we got Waller, we got Tony D. Who's rounding out the trio at this point is not Mike Santana.
No.
Cruz Montana.
Yeah.
I love people getting in pissy, hissy, tizzy over this, too. I am exhausted of people getting mad over names. And so in the past, like when you had Walter and you're like, well, why does it matter for him to become Gunther? We already know him as Walter. And like, we get it with WWE wanting to own the names. And it's silly because
Walter was an individual.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say Walter was a different scenario because they changed his name when he went from NXT UK to NXT.
Yes.
Which was weird because that's an internal
Exactly.
thing.
And it feels like we already knew Mike Santana because he's been on NXT a bunch. We've had him on pay-per-views, PLEs, and all the sorts.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like all those other times people keep talking about. I remember that as TNA.
Yes, it was, TNA and Cruz Santana,
But when you hear, it's one of those things, again, it's like the one that kills me, and the one that kind of makes me laugh at the same time is when people freak out the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh yeah,
everybody, WWE just came up with some sort of like, racist Japanese name, and they all came out and it's like, actually we chose it and it means this, and this is like why it's important to us. The Cruz Montana thing, I don't know where exactly the names lie, but apparently it's a tribute to his dad, who passed away, and he talked about that quite a bit in TNA. And the other icing on that cake was he wanted that name change when he was in TNA, and they told him no because of the
So that's a cool thing all
So
around.
this is something he wanted before WWE, and WWE have allowed him to do it. Now, does it take time to get used to? Yes. Do I care? No.
Mason Rook knew
nobody would have,
and same thing with
nobody would have followed. Nobody would have followed the Husky Harris family. I'm sorry.
It wasn't going to happen.
The army tank with the Ferrari engine family.
I think Gunther's a better fit than Walter. Originally, I didn't. And not just because it's grown on me either, but I truly feel like that is a better name now. It's more... But like to see him wrestle, he was almost a different dude. Like when you see the transformation that he went through, like when he knew he was going to be a main roster guy. And here's the thing, this might be a controversial take to have, because obviously he's put a fuck ton of work into looking how he looks now, right? Yes.
He was more intimidating when he was bigger.
Yes, so I see that he had more.
And I don't want to take anything away from the guy.
Like the ring master,
the cerebral guy. I don't want to say cerebral assasson, but you get my point.
But yes, he's more technically gifted.
But like, and the first thing that I thought of, because we have a lot of fun with NXT, and when we talk about NXT, AAA, and TNA, there are three places where there's weird shit that happens, but works in that exact mode. AAA is in the, and I mean this positively. You guys know I mean this positively, but AAA, because of the lucha style, whatever, has somewhat of an animated cartoon to it that doesn't work everywhere. NXT has a lot of comedy stuff. It's a lot of jock humor. They even had a fake school at one point when everybody went to Chase U or everybody went to Fallon Henley's bar, and they had all these on-site like drama type stuff. And it worked in NXT. TNA does the creepy shit better than anybody else right now. They've got the Undead Realm and Mary and Havoc and Kay and Abyss and all that kind of thing, and it works there. So when I go to NXT, here's the mind-boggling thing that I never thought of actually being an issue, right?
Yeah.
You got TNA, or not TNA, you got NXT stuff can happen. All these exaggerated characters can exist.
Yes.
Cruz Montana goes out there and cuts his first promo and talking to the crowd for the first time. And my very first gut reaction was, it was an amazing promo. And it's like, you're too real for this brand.
Yeah, you're too much of a guy.
Yeah, guy. Like, I love having him on as an NXT guy. I love being able to say we have the former Mike Santana on NXT.
Yes,
but like, he feels like he doesn't belong, and not in the he's not fitting in way. It's like you're a very real guy, and we know this from the storytelling that he was able to do in TNA. Not that they let him do any in AEW. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But like, all of his stories were like deeply personal and pulling from his personal life and all that kind of thing, and talking like the real ass dude or whatever is whatever his shtick was, and it's effective. So that even though you're standing in basically WWE studios there in the Performance Center, like, it's the most real thing on the show. And then immediately, as potentially his first opponent, well, it is his first opponent, it's happening next week, you put him up against somebody so diametrically opposed to that in Grayson Waller, and I think that's fucking genius.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm more interested. Here's the thing as well, and like, it sounds like I'm slagging off Tony D. I'm really not. I am more interested in that match next week, that number one contenders match, than I am in either one of them facing Tony D.
Me as well.
Does that make sense?
That's got more intrigue to me also.
Like, that's
funny you put it that way, but it really does, because of the stakes, because of the standings, because of the intrigue behind Waller. Will they, won't they, what's next? Like, there's a lot of implications here too to be had, because it's like, oh, is it, someone coming from the main roster just going to go take spots, or are they going to earn it? Or, there's because he cut a great promo, but now you got to deliver in ring, and we know he can. That's not the issue, but chemistry, anything's possible with wrestling, and that's what makes
he's going to be pulling
wrestling.
Other people along.
Yeah, kicking and screaming if possible, but we're looking forward to it.
Holy shit! I don't normally do this because I was about to look something up, and you know what just popped up on my screen right now? At one of the future MLP tapings, Chris Chambers and Taylor Rising, I don't know who they are having a mixed tag match in the main event at one of the future tapings against the tag team of guess.
Shotzi
right
and Leo Rush.
You're half right.
All right. I don't know. Shotzi and who else?
PCO.
Really? Now that I wouldn't have guessed, but that is a great pairing. That's going to be
fantastic. Anyways,
keep
talking. I'm going to actually look up what I was looking up.
Yeah, no, and I've really enjoyed. I've always liked Leo Rush. As strange as an individual as he's been, he was such a powerhouse on the mic for Bobby Lashley. And then we went ahead and
pointed Lashley's ass.
Yeah. Hey, but they would do these great vignettes and promos backstage, and they would air them either after Raw or only on Twitter. And it was like, you're missing some of the best content on Mondays.
Look at the glutes. Look at the definition.
Maximus. But it was so much more than that, and they never showcased it. And that's kind of been the epitome of his career. They never showcased the more that he could provide. So I love that he's finally getting over, whether it's a weird gimmick or not, it's an ogre thing yet again, because there's so many layers to it. And he can do himself still. He did a live stream the other day where he was talking and updating people, and then he becomes the Blackheart possessed version suddenly, and it was cool because some of it was live and other parts were pre-taped, but he mixed them together so well that he's selling 8x10. So then he comes out and he's like, "What's your name? Sign it." He wants to know, but it's intriguing. It's got people talking, and that's the best thing. attention. That's what every wrestler wants. He's got it in spades right now, and he deserves it. It's a really cool gimmick. He's carrying Shotzi around like a trophy. It's funny. It's good.
Yeah. See, here's the thing with Lio Rush, right? And never going to take away anything from the guy as an athlete, because the guy is a fucking insane athlete, right? There has to be something wrong when a gimmick that should be right up my street isn't grabbing me.
I think I know the problem. Honest to God, it's just about that. Well, no, honestly, that's really what it is. It's about access for you. I see that most often, like, because it's not readily available, and I'm not paying for GCW events. I'm being, breaking the fourth wall here. I'm being sent, either recordings or full caps afterwards. And I'm like, oh, cool, so we can catch up. But there's so much content online that it really is hard to follow the Lio Rush stuff, because one night he's at GCW, next night he's on ROH, then he's in AEW. So it's been this amalgamation of all these different stories, companies, and tellings. And it's interesting, but it's not, as AEW typically does, it's not localized to one thing or source, so it's become very difficult.
And it's not being capitalized on.
Yes, it's not. It's not. Tony should have this be...
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, my thing is, and it's why I give so many things such latitude. Like, even when they fucked up Karrion Kross and put him in the gimp outfit, like, I've still got something where it's like, I'll give it a shot. Let's see where it goes. The Boogeyman, right up my street. Kevin Thorne, Mordecai.
People complaining about Danhausen, as we mentioned briefly earlier. Always got heat. All these things. They're putting in so much effort, time, and attention now. It may not be great, but they still believe in him and care, because if not, people talking about how terrible the Monday Night Raw performance was and all of that. They had an organ, they had dancers, they had costumes, they had pyrotechnics. It wasn't cheap. Like, they put in effort and time. It just wasn't good. It wasn't creative because they don't understand the character.
I go back to what we've said already, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, and this is not maybe the place to have it, because we're not arguing. So I want somebody to actually argue with me. When you heard that Danhausen and Joe Hendry were gonna have a concert on Raw, what the fuck did you think you were getting?
Exactly. Thank you. God, I wish I was arguing with you, even for the other side of it. I can't even like feign that level of ridiculousness to be like, no, Spaz, I'll take up the other side and argue with you. I can't do it because it broke my brain for that reason. I'm like, what were people like? All right, I'm expecting more from Joe Hendry in the sense of like maybe more lyrics than I believe that you were cursed. Like, that was my main issue, is that it was just so
but you knew the punchline was going to be them combining their two catchphrases
and characters and
it was going to be a meme, and it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It was all about the meme, the Hendryhausen. I thought Hendry was going to be in face paint. The Mini-Hausens were there.
That would have been cool.
It's cool that they've got them going with him everywhere now, but there's a lot of elements that either, like, the teeth have never been explained, even though that's such a simple staple. And
I will say, when he was still in TNA, he did a lot of trios matches with him and the Hardys. Yes. And they had sort of a combined entrance, and it was kind of cool and whatever. But that was for a match. This was just, we're going to be silly for a bit, and it's fine. Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
But it was inconsequential. It didn't hurt any. No. My big problem with it
was the boxer, right?
Yeah, that was my issue. It was who they chose to associate with, and I get it's for Zuffa Boxing, but you couldn't put your name behind a bigger piece of shit in the world. And
but it's one of those things of like, and I still to this day, I know you tried to tell me some stuff. I haven't bothered looking into the guy because I don't care. And that doesn't mean I'm endorsing the guy. It means I don't care, right?
Yeah.
But it's one of those like, he's
just a misogynistic, like truly, like not
the way we joke around.
Yeah, no, he's women are beneath him, and he's very racist and very homophobic, and it's not these like labels. Like he's proud of these labels.
There's some dickhead in the comment section right now. It's like, oh, I bet he's Spaz's best friend. I'm like, no, I don't care about real sports. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
We're not against anybody. Like,
I know who Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark are? Yes. for reasons not having to do with basketball.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
That's it.
But it was just one of those things of like, okay, nobody likes the like little comedy skits. Okay, here's a comedy skit. Go get your beer. Nobody likes celebrity involvement. Okay, they put a little bit of celebrity involvement in the comedy sketch that you said you already weren't interested in. Go get a fucking beer. People out there pretending that the Judgment Day is done and over with. They're not. But if you don't like the Judgment Day, you're probably, you probably lean a certain way. But go get your fucking beer. It took like 10 minutes on a 2.5-hour show. What in the fuck is okay? It's not the same, but it's why I don't understand people that hate the Speed title. By definition, it's 3 minutes of the show. I'm not asking you to like it, but you cannot tell me a match for the Speed title ruined the show. No. Definitionally, it's 5 minutes of your day.
See, like I'm one of those that has an issue with it, but it's not with the Speed title itself. It's how they've utilized it.
Fair.
I hate that they mess around and change the times. Like, not just like, oh, it's a title match, now it's 5 instead of 3. Like, all right, we're going to add more. Now it's, all right, so you're defeating the purpose. But then
the thing is, they laid that out from the start, though. Even when it was just on X, when everybody, said
more
that they checked it out, nobody really did.
When you had for it then,
Yoshiki Inamura and like Ivar had a match that only showed on Twitter, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but they laid it out from the beginning that all the tournament matches were 3 minutes and the championship matches were 5 minutes. That was from the onset of the belts. Now the belts themselves are ugly. That's fine. Let's have a conversation about that. But what I'm saying is, like, by the definition of the title. Okay, yes, they had a triple threat one time where they upped it to 7, and they said. They went out of their way to say this is a one-off. This is not a situation that we had planned for. We have to make a special allowance, right? But every time they go from the tournament to a championship match, they change the time again. It's like, no, they laid that out to you.
Yeah, that's
from the
onset.
Sense. You don't have to like it. This is what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with people not liking it. What I have a problem with is you acting like this. Again, I go back to the Danhausen thing. It's not the main event of WrestleMania. If it was even on WrestleMania, it doesn't
ruin the show.
No, definitionally,
it can take away from it, and I could see the argument there. But it is, the problem is it's. There's so many context matters. Obviously, you know it as well as I do, and I think it also depends on the night. Like if you get a night where you get a bunch of good stuff, and then this is there, you're like, fuck it, it was 3 minutes. It's not a big. But when you have a night where it drags and everything has been pretty lackluster, and you're like, this is the go home for SummerSlam, or this is the follow up to something like those type of things. You're like, like it's needling you all night long if you're getting segment after segment of piss poor bullshit.
Okay, so but you know what somebody's going to come around and say to you, right? Like, and we have the same conversation about the advertising. Would you rather have like Thea Hale and I don't know who else, Callie Armstrong, 3 minute match for the Speed title, or here's an LA Knight fucking like Slim Jim ad. Snap into a Slim Jim, or like 3 minutes of like, hey, let's see what they can do in 3 minutes, or I'm going to go take a piss.
Exactly. No, I get that too. Like I said, like with the Speed title, we're going to have you face Zarya, and then, it ends in, a draw, and, that it's
defend one title to get another title shot? No, I'm not. NXT's doing too much of that.
Yeah, that's been an issue. Like, so I haven't enjoyed how they've handled the Speed title. I don't hate the idea of
you don't hate the existence of it.
No, I just don't like what they've done with it. And then they've stripped champions for no reason at times, and then they've had to award champions before the champions even gotten back. You know what I mean?
Execution.
Yeah,
execution is a different discussion than I don't want this to exist.
Absolutely.
Sorry, talk for a second.
But that's genuinely like my hang up with quite a few things right now, and I'm glad you phrase it as such. Execution. I know we're both tired in here, but that is what I'm going for. And the fact of NXT has had a bit of a sloppy shop lately at times with some of their execution stuff, and they plan things out well, and some of it is fucking excellent. Like that underground match was really good. It was a lot of fun. It was a great story. Lola's moving up. She got sought after by Damien. He came out and showed praise to Miss Vice.
Do you know what I like though about the
tried to
underground
trademark
match?
Vice City.
No, do you know what? No, do you know what I like about the underground match? Is the underground match is it always kind of divides opinion anyway. They took a huge risk with that ear spot of like, oh, she's disoriented. Oh, she had to wrap her head up and keep on going because that could come off really badass, or some people might find it lame. I liked it, but even more than the fact that I liked it personally was I like that they took a swing with something like that, which is, yeah.
And hey, I get that. And that's not, to be against them entirely, but there are some things where I'm like, you do get exhausted of it. It is painful to sit through, and you're like, come on, there should be some forethought here, and they've messed up with some simple things even at times, but it makes a difference, and it takes away from.
You know what I did like? I did like even though like some people have different opinions of the underground matches, and some of them have been hit or miss. That was a women's championship match. So switching from the NXT Women's Championship match to the Raw Women's World Title match, we've got Liv Morgan. Everybody loves Liv Morgan, don't they? Oh no, wait, they're trying to Sydney Sweeney Liv Morgan. It's fine, don't worry about it. She doesn't have any competitors. Okay. Boom, boom. How about we throw in Becky? How about we throw in Stephanie Vacour? How about we throw in Becky's a babyface again?
Yeah,
Raquel,
which I didn't have a problem with. It was just funny.
Raquel Rodriguez is out there with her friggin' Intercontinental Championship wrapped in barbed wire for reasons that nobody ever acknowledged.
Yeah.
Becky coming back, Stephanie Vacour coming back. Fantastic.
So happy.
Women's, because the women's division on SmackDown really got to show up and show out on SummerSlam in the absence of Rhea Ripley. So first of all, hugely happy for Chelsea Green. Matt Cardona on Twitter saying he's now one half of the SmackDown Women's Champion. I don't think that's how it works, but
I don't know.
Anyways,
but hey, I'll take it.
I love watching them. I love watching them interact and like just being happy for each other. They're just fun people to watch. But yeah, sorry. Very, very tired in here, losing my train of thought quite a bit.
No, but you're...
SmackDown showed up and showed out. Raw needed to, not that they're trying to like compete with each other, but they needed to punch back a little bit and say, hey, we've got a Division 2. Boom. Becky Lynch, Stephanie Vacour right at the top of the rating. Becky Lynch even making it clear in her promo when she spoke to Raquel Rodriguez says, no, I'm not here for that one. For that one.
Yes.
Which is fine
she
because
she didn't put it down.
Not putting her down.
That was perfect.
Statement of intent. She got to go out there and do
fuck that. I had that. Now, any of that. She just said, no, I made that. Now I'm at, perfect.
Yeah. I still say to this day, Becky Lynch bringing the NXT championship to the main roster was a dry run for a women's mid-card championship.
Yes.
Becky Lynch is habitually underrated by nearly everybody. Stephanie Vacour didn't have much promo time, but I think it was more effective. Becky came in. She had the majority of the promo. They all try to leave, and Stephanie Vacour saying, oh, by the way, there's me too, is fantastic. It's a Raw segment, but it's in the similar style to, hey, it's SummerSlam. We've got this number one contenders match. How about one more person? Oh, how about one more person? And I mean, Io Sky will still be in the mix. I'm sure the Judgment Day is going to break up sometime in the next 5-7 years or so. Cool to see Becky,
depending on weekends, business days, and shipping. So
yeah, shipping and handling and conversion as well, depending on if we're going over any borders. That was a really lame joke that didn't quite work because I'm tired. Becky being back, Becky getting the very, very prototypical heel stuff from Liv of, you don't belong here. Why don't you just go home and be a mom? It's
which
very
I hate. I hate that comment. I'm cutting you off right now. My turn. Okay. I hate that shit so much. It enrages me. And again, oh, look, Jake shitting on Liv. It must be a day that ends in Y. And the thing is, I like Liv too, but it's the way she's been booked. Again, it comes down to it because it's not her entirely. But I am exhausted of the, but she's a heel excuse. And her response was the rebuttal was so piss poor. And I know it's not real, but hear me out in the sense of if we're supposed to buy in. She's saying, you're not defending the title, and her response is, oh, you're not a good mother. Like it doesn't feel
okay.
heelish. It feels
your gripe is valid.
Yeah.
I have a slightly different look at it in the sense of I take this is very much a Twitter type response, right?
Yes.
I will debate and I will argue with anybody on X to the point where I had to get a new X handle. By the way, follow me at Spaz Phoenix Pod, cheap plug. But here's the thing. I will argue with anybody, and you can say the most horrendous shit to me if you really want to. You can bring me the stupidest talking point if you want to. Just don't be lazy. If you're going to come and step to me in an argument or whatever, I would rather you come at me with everything you've got than be lazy. And what's the worst thing, which is funny because I don't even live in the States, is anytime I'm talking to anybody about anything, okay, MAGA, cut and paste.
Yes.
Right? And it's a piss off because you're just lazy. You're not even like in the fight. You're not even in the discussion. And it may be just me really being a fan of Liv. I think she encapsulates that I'm not even going to bother giving you something good. And I know that's a cop-out. And you can call me out if you think I'm using that as a cop-out. Yeah. I think that more with less, that I'm going to give you the most lame cookie-cutter thing I can give you. It works. It doesn't work as a retort.
No,
it works because it's Liv and she pulls it off and she's so obnoxious and she's so, as I said, you and I have talked about this a lot. The biggest thing that Liv Morgan has going on in her favor, she's a great wrestler. I think she's good on the mic, but she absolutely chews up the scenery in how much she enjoys, like actually deeply enjoys being an obnoxious bitch.
Yeah.
And
but it's not.
And a well thought out CM Punk pipe bomb style promo isn't obnoxious, snarky bitch. That's, I'm gonna, like, you've weighed on my mind so long. Let me unload everything I've got on my mind. She shouldn't have it. Realistically, okay, flip it over onto Becky. Nobody knew Becky was coming back on Raw.
No.
So realistically, she shouldn't have been on Liv Morgan's mind. So Liv Morgan shouldn't have anything to say to her. Now, if it's next week and she comes out and she said, "Didn't I tell you to go home and be a mom?" Then yes, cookie cutter, lazy, whatever the case may be. But A, lazy is a heel thing. B, as a surprise, as showing like she's not only bitchy and obnoxious and putting on this full front of confidence, but she's also on the back foot dealing with somebody that she didn't expect.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to Stephanie Vacour coming up behind her, and she's got like that, when you close your eyes and you sigh and it's just like, oh, somebody else too.
No,
I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good. I get that it's not good, but the not good worked. See, if that makes any kind of sense.
I get what you're going for. Okay. And that's why I love to agree to disagree here, because with Liv too,
and we shouldn't be scripting everything like a Twitter argument either. That's not the case that I'm trying to make.
And that's also part of my issue here too, is like, if you're supposed to look at it in the sense of like the Liv fans saying, "Oh, she smoked her and she got her and all this." Well, if you break it down, she brings up something that isn't legitimate. To be clear, Maria I'm not Dom. That's not real. Dom's married. We know that. But guess what? Becky is away from her kid all the time. And you saying that, she's a bad mom for being a wrestler and being away, that is some real shit. And part of that plays into with Liv. If you go back and you look, a lot of her promos, she does that often, and apparently it's not always in the script.
I need to clarify. I'm not sitting here saying that she smoked Becky.
Yeah,
I'm saying that she didn't smoke Becky at all.
Yeah,
and that's works.
Kind of the
as the bitchy heel, like trying to respond off the back foot. Her not successfully owning her is what worked for me. I am in no way saying, "Oh my God, she definitely owned Becky on the mic this week." That wasn't the point I was trying to make.
No, I didn't think
to be clear. To be clear.
See, I understand. I understand your points.
Yeah. But I just think again, WWE coming with the 1-2 punches, not only Cruz, but Cruz and Waller, not only Gunther, but Gunther and Kevin Owens. Oh, by the way, we've also got Randy Orton, not only Becky, but also Stephanie.
Yeah.
Like, it is one of those things of like WWE. I've used this expression before, and I know people don't like it, but it is WWE throwing their dick up on the table.
Oh,
which is fine.
I can get that. Yeah.
And you know who's got a big one? You know who's got a big one?
Dun dun.
Big Cass.
It's 7 foot tall.
And now, if you want to talk about cookie cutter booking, how do you get a big guy over as a heel on his first night? Take out Javon Evans.
Pretty much. I mean, I think the issue there, why one, it wasn't the best crowd in the world, but also two, there was an issue of people didn't really want him to come back
as a serious guy.
Yeah, as a heel. Everyone was looking forward to
Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, the reunion.
But see, here's the thing.
We didn't get that. So
here's the thing again, though, of like, I know a lot of other people say it. I say it as well too. You can't get mad at WWE for what you booked in your head. And all the promos leading up to this
him being a heel,
talking about, well, not even necessarily being heel, but just like
serious.
It was serious tone, retribution type of tone. Hey, shit fell apart for me a while ago. I'm making my way back. That,
redemption,
and the next
retaliation, retribution, redemption again.
Yeah. So it is one of those things of like, nobody told you Enzo was coming. Nobody's even mentioned Enzo. We know that Enzo's been at the Performance Center because we read the dirt sheets. That's not WWE's fault.
Exactly.
Now, is it the most exciting thing on the show? No. But am I curious to see what they do?
I liked his promo afterwards. It got me more intrigued.
Oh, yeah.
Being straight up honest there.
Because he didn't try to pretend that there was a reason for him to attack Javon specifically. Dude, you just happened to be in the way. I wanted to make a statement. You happened to be the one in the room. And I think that's a smart way to play it, because now the next week, when some other little guy, probably Rey Mysterio, goes up to him and says, yo, why are you picking on Javon? Okay, you can have one too, fucker.
You can tie that in.
But no, I'm interested because there's a lot of big guys. And I'm not necessarily saying Big Cass is going to be a main eventer. Like an interesting side quest for Obafemi.
Dun dun. Could be good.
I mean he's on SmackDown, but like Big Cass, Baron Corbin.
Right. There's definitely.
I'd love to see Dijak. I'd love to see Dijak come back.
He would be fun to bring back as well.
Big Cass. What's his name? Big Cass Braun Breaker would be a weirdly intense match.
That would be very interesting, and I think we're gonna, we got Obafemi Braun Breaker seemingly taking up time next. Braun Breaker thought he was the next big guy. Obafemi is, and Braun Breaker was promised that was supposed to be him. So interesting to see what we're building there.
Big Cass Jacob Fatu would be something weird to look at. Yeah,
it would be.
Lots of possibilities. WWE, as much as they've gone with smaller guys, indie guys, lucha guys with the AAA stuff, they're reminding you in the back half, hey, we could still book a monster, and let him. People are saying let his sarcasm show through a little bit. Let his sarcasm show through without turning into goofy. Because WWE, somebody said this about Ambrose like ages ago. Don't tell them that you have a sense of humor because you'll become a comedy guy.
Yes.
So if you let just a little bit of the sarcasm through, and again, sort of the opposite of what I say about Liv, but the whole like, I'm going to hurt somebody and I'm going to enjoy hurting somebody. From Cass, if it's not going to be an entire rug pull of like, he goes on a downward spiral and 6 months later, the one that pulls him out is Enzo. Because that would be, again, a little cookie cutter word of the day.
I think that might be what happens.
Not a terrible debut, but buried in the sense of we had already seen Becky and Stephanie, and over the weekend, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, and people were still talking about the debut of Santana Montana. So not the most auspicious of debuts, but I don't think there was anything wrong with it.
No.
And I mean, him and Javon is going to be hysterical. Like his first match back next week on Raw will probably be with Javon, and we're going to find Javon's teeth up in the 5th row somewhere.
Dun dun dun.
Anyways, so that's all the big new faces, names, and returns, comebacks, and debuts, and all that fun stuff. Gonna detour to TNA for just a second. A couple weeks ago at one of the tapings, I don't remember when the tapings were because my brain is scrambled. Mustafa Ali had to defend his international championship against one of his own great hands in Hotch.
Yes.
And Hotch actually got the win, which was a super big surprise. You know, the childhood dream has come true and all this sort of thing. You know, not only did I get a singles title, not only did I step out of the tag team ranks, but I beat my boss and I've got the title, and it's all a very, very wonderful thing. Well, the backstage on this is it was Ali's idea. Ali has apparently been pushing behind the scenes, like been like the number one guy pushing for like, hey, we have all these young guys, why aren't we doing anything with them? And separate from that, Mustafa Ali has been the one acting on behalf of TNA, going around house shows, scouting.
Yeah,
which is fucking awesome.
I like it.
Which
it's got something
because Ali is great, so he's got an idea. Because if he's on the roster, Eddie's scouting. He's kind of, even if he's being selfish, and I don't think he is, but even if he's being selfish, if he goes to an indie show and says, you know what, I'd like to work with that guy now has a friggin' TNA contract.
And that guy's got a target on him in a good way, you know, like
in a positive way.
Yeah,
like
Ali said, this guy's
you're here on this roster because people on this roster have said they want to work for you.
Yes.
Or work with you, rather.
Yes. I was going to correct you there, but it fit, you know? Because really, he is working for them by getting them over before they ever even perform.
Anyway, I just think it's really good because we're in the timeline where I don't know what the fuck's going on with TNA. TNA is hemorrhaging talent.
They are just losing people left and right, and this is not where I expected TNA to be.
No. Jody Threat just left. Mara Sade is apparently, like the former Jakara Jackson, who I thought was a shoo-in to win that new TV title, is now on her way out. Apparently she's on her way to AEW. So we'll be seeing her on ROH in 6 weeks. That's preemptively sad.
And then people are saying like, oh, Gabby Forza joins, but she's, you know, she's an out pro wrestler. And I'm like, why does that matter? It's just the fact that she's a pro wrestler is all that you need to bring up, you know?
Well, she's apparently, I didn't know this, she's Bear Bronson's partner.
Yeah. So.
I didn't see her match in the preliminary round of the Knockout TV, the KO TV title, but I went back and watched it on the recommendation of Ringsider Anthony, who's another one of the guys that we don't praise nearly enough from the team over at the Wrestling for Life Network. And he's like, oh, if you want to know who Gabby Forza is, check out her match with Jody Threat. And Jody Threat obviously won that first round match because Gabby Forza wasn't a scheduled talent at the time. But I kind of look at it now. It's first of all, damn, I need to see her go up against Reina Vulcan now because we'll open a fucking cake factory. But second of all, Jody Threat's not there anymore, and Gabby Forza is. Gabby Forza should have won that first round preliminary match. So yeah, it's good to see that, like, not only they're picking up people, but they're picking up people that I haven't. Like, I didn't know who Ricky Sosa was. I didn't know who Jada Stone was.
Yeah.
They're picking up these people. Like, if you're not going to get the big, you know, the first ballot Hall of Fame big names in the industry that, like, oh, I'm going to scoop up this person, but like. I've been saying forever, like everybody is so convinced that Bayley is going to AEW, and she probably is, but holy fuck, how good would Bayley be in TNA?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
maybe not good for her, but good for the company. And like Bayley already runs her own like training camps and all that kind of thing. So it would be one of those like good for the company more than good for her, but sometimes that happens.
And they partnered with Dude Wipes. They're actually going to have a Dude Wipes mascot in TV storylines, they said. So that was confirmed today.
In the storylines.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, no, I wanted to throw that in there because, Ali is still criminally underrated, even though he just came off a decent title run. His thing with Order 4, it doesn't always hit, but it hits more than it misses. And to hear what he's doing behind the scenes is really, really cool. Now we switch over to the other side of the coin because now we got to talk about AEW, which means
really quick, while you're on TNA, last thing, I'm pulling you back in.
Sure.
Mara Sade, obviously gone. You mentioned her, Jody Threat. They're hemorrhaging talent. We did see Stone at the, I believe it was the end of the episode, basically being like, "Oh, you're a free agent? Let's talk." So people are thinking it is Jackson coming back. I wouldn't complain about that. She's improved immensely, and I'm hearing
the rumors that it might be Tay Mello. So if it's either Jakara Jackson or Tay Mello, I would take either one of them. Both of them former NXT talents.
No complaints there.
I know she was Tenera Conti, and she wanted to get rid of that last name when she moved to AEW. But like, what have they done with her? I mean, and I'm not just saying this. And I'm not just saying this because it's like, oh, if we get her, we can also get Sammy Guevara. If we get her, we've got her.
Yes. And that's what we need. And I do like Sammy. I've always enjoyed him. I thought that he should be at a higher spot than what he's at in AEW. And
he's one of the few people that made the most of like buddying up with Jericho.
Yeah. And Cody.
Like Jericho, like the whole like Jericho Vortex thing is a thing.
Yes.
But I think some people have made good of it. I mean, some people went 10 miles in the other direction, like a Mike Santana, and it worked out better for him. But Sammy Guevara, like the Sex Gods.
Yeah, it worked well. And they got each other over. They were both a necessary part of that.
I just love how much Jericho winds people up. Now, when he showed up in Arena Mexico last night as Corazon de Leon,
yes,
with the short shorts, everybody lost their mind. But yeah, so let's talk about AEW being shitty.
Yes, I'm really so Retribution, Retaliation, Redemption, Revenge. That show was long and it was bad. I'm sorry, it was. There was so many match for match's sake, and it just went on forever. It was so self-aggrandizing with not just match. Oh, we started an hour earlier. Oh, good. I didn't notice because
you're gonna go longer.
Late. Yeah. And so much of it has just been not entertaining and confusing, and we already got the bait and switch with the Kenny stuff. And the one thing that I hated the most about that show, everything is riding on the Death Riders, taking down
everything.
Osprey
okay, the whole show, and I'm just stealing talking points from KJ and Big Nick. Right? If you take out the Death Riders and the Callis family, that show is 5 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. Do you know how many
There's
people
nothing left to
that?
It.
Do you know how many people that I used to like that they're making me not like? It is impressive at the rate at which AEW makes me hate people I used to like.
Yeah.
I liked Ambrose. I liked early AEW Mox. Mm-hmm. I used to think Pac/Neville was good. Cesaro has always been underrated. He's always going to be.
He's good in
underrated.
The ring, but you see why he didn't achieve
Josh
the
Alexander.
next level.
Josh Alexander's fucking amazing. Kyle Fletcher's fucking amazing.
Okada,
Kevin Knight.
Kevin
Knight. I don't like Okada at all. I know I'm catching him late in his career. I have not seen a single thing from Okada that makes me give a flying fuck.
Not in AEW, you haven't.
No, this is my point. This is my entry point with Okada.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Takeshita, fantastic. Get him out of there. Even like Davis and Doyle as like a big burly tag team. Great. Get them away from Don Callis. Don Callis does better with Mauro Ranallo doing commentary for MLP than anything he does on Dynamite.
Yep.
But anyways, let me get back to it. What's the biggest new thing? What's the biggest new thing in not gonna say AAA again? AEW. They got the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yay.
Fantastic. They made a choice for themselves. They wanted to see if the grass was greener. No problem.
In a tag division that only consists right now of the Bucks and Cage and fucking Cope.
Fair. But it's one of those things where I'm not gonna, somebody is not happy where they are. Somebody made a decision. They want to see if the grass is greener, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No problem with that whatsoever. No hate on the Motor City Machine Guns. Tony Khan, you're a fucking cunt. You saved it for Collision because you knew you could run up against TNA with the former TNA guys.
Yep.
Once again, not only are they trying to gun at and counter program Impact, but they're doing it again. Once again, all the former TNA talent that they have on their roster now are pieces on a chessboard that aren't being used.
No, they're just held on to for
Where
when he
are the
can be
Rascals?
petty. That's
Where
my
are
point.
the Rascals?
Like I was just going to say, Motor City Machine Guns, the next Rascals, and none of the stories are following any trajectory that makes sense.
I want to say where's Josh? I want to say where's Josh Alexander, but Josh Alexander's injured. But where was he before that?
No, exactly. Where is anybody in, as you said, Death Riders or Chaos family doing, approaching, getting even their champions, even oh God. So the whole story was, hey, we need to build up Will Ospreay so that he can believe in himself and get the title as the Death Riders. But really, they have some ulterior motive, of course.
Oh my God, the Death Riders thing is so fucking dumb.
And then the whole point was, all right, you have to kill Kenny Omega. Take the plastic bag, play Remco with him, and suffocate him until he dies because he's going to betray you. And then Ospreay doesn't do it, saves him, and what happens? Kenny betrays him, so they proved Moxley right? The fuck? Like, there's no way to explain it that makes... I don't care what excuse you have. This whole thing fell so far off the wagon ages ago. It was so simple to have Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega face each other for the title at... Well, it should have been MJF. They should have stuck to that. That was the real money match. Whatever. They gave it to Kenny instead of
Jake. Let me narrow it down.
Yeah.
Let me narrow it down really simple for you. Right. Look at the former champions in AEW, like the former world champions. Who's the biggest needle mover?
Yeah.
Answer my question. Who's the biggest needle mover?
Probably Mox. I mean, if anybody, and that's barely. There is no real needle mover that's a former champ.
No. Okay. So maybe a different kind of question.
Okay.
Who's got the most potential in the former champion category in AEW, or potentially the should still be champion category? Got to be MJF, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Got to be MJF.
Point there. Yeah.
Tell me how you're coming up to your biggest show of the year and MJF's in a fucking battle royal.
He's in a battle royal, and you're like, oh, he's gonna
and feuding with Andrade.
Yes.
But he's feuding with Andrade for the ring. And he just went to Dynamite in Mexico last night and got his ring back. So what the fuck are we doing?
Yep. So he's got the ring. So that's done. He doesn't care about that title. Says he's still the main champ. Like, that's what I'm saying. None of it makes sense.
He's doing this.
He's
doing the CM Punk real world champion thing.
Yes. That's why I said, are they going to spray paint an X on it or what? Come on.
I think that would be really funny, actually. I'm not going to lie.
It probably would, knowing
but
him.
How? Okay. And I'm sorry. The company aside, look at the amount of talent on that roster. A lot of talent on that roster. But out of everybody on that roster, how do you stick MJF in a fucking battle royal in your biggest show of the year?
Especially when, oh, look, not even the match with Andrade. It's fucking. We're gonna go again.
They're saving the one-on-one. They're saving the one-on-one match for All Out because they want something to counter-program.
That's what I'm saying. But they have nothing built, and we're heading into it, and that's it. Like. Oh, but Malachi Black is going by Tommy End, and he's bald now.
Oh my God, I saw that. That's weird. It's weird looking. It doesn't look bad, but it looks weird.
Yeah.
It's like friggin' Cena when he shaved his head for whatever. So now here's the other thing. MCMG, they came on to Collision. They signed with AEW. No problem. They've made a decision for their own careers. I don't have anything against them. I don't like how AEW's used them day one. They're just using them as a piece on the board to fuck with TNA because they can't fuck with WWE. And by the way, a little programming note, I was going to talk to Jake tonight about the whole Roman Reigns and AAA situation. I'm making the executive decision to save that for another video because I have one more thing to talk about here tonight, but we will touch on that at another time. The bigger thing that bothers me, and everybody's going to say, oh, well, AEW didn't have anything. I didn't like seeing them leave WWE, but at this point, fuck Kofi Kingston. And fuck Xavier Woods.
I don't know what they're going for. Another, we have to escape the prison that was.
No.
We got to break our chains. We got to.
They want to buddy up with AEW because that's where their bread is going to come from now on. AEW hates WWE. WWE is accused of being racist. So let's have cartoons of a bunch of black people in chains. That's all that was.
Yeah.
And they ended off, and everybody's like, oh, the guy with the broken unicorn was just Big E saying goodbye. No, you're implying that your friend, who does still stay there and does still work there, is a slave.
Yes, and he's stuck there
what
forever.
What in the fucking propaganda is that?
I mean, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
If you weren't sure that they were going to AEW, they're running free-based propaganda films against WWE. Oh, they're racist, they're slave people, they're this, they're that. We're gonna put you all back in chains. Isn't that what Biden said? But like, seriously, what the fuck? And everyone's like, oh, it's just such a heartwarming thing. It's just them saying goodbye to Big E. We're not idiots.
But they make you feel
we're not idiots.
And
no, but
they think you are. They treat you like you are. And that's the problem.
I'm sorry, but like, fuck them. Like, the whole like Kofi Mania thing was really obnoxious. On the other side of the coin, the one guy out of the three of them that I was really hoping was going to be world champion in Xavier Woods never did, which is a bummer. Big E felt, I was happy for him when he won. Kofi, they pushed the agenda, so that like turned me off of that right away. Xavier Woods not being a champion, or at least in championship contendership, big fumble, big huge drop of the ball by WWE on that. I'll never say otherwise. But as for now, when they're doing this kind of bullshit, because this is bait. This is the 2026 rage bait. This is the 2026 identity bait. And we know what they're doing. And they're just passing it off as some nice thing. And it's like, well, no. As you said, they're recycling the whole, I had to break out of prison thing. But they got so mad when Rey Fenix did the same thing when that was an actual thing. And B, it wasn't a prison when you were cashing the fucking checks.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
But you're not wrong. And it's like, make it make sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, they go ahead and, like you said, it's okay for one, but not for the other.
Yeah, I don't know. This thing that came out, it's just this nice way of saying goodbye. It's like, no, it's propaganda.
Yeah.
And it's gross propaganda at that. Anyways, I hate to leave this on a down note, so why don't we do it on an up note? If you are listening to this live on Friday, you will have just watched the first ever SmackDown Hangout, which is very, very cool. There will be a hangout tomorrow for the last night of AAA Summer of Scandal. I'm not going to try and say it in Spanish because I'm tired. So tune in for all that. Jake, tell them where to find you.
You can indeed find me over on YouTube.com/Jake DeMarco. We'll be live over the weekend. We got our game nights and all that jazz. More movie nights coming up, so it's going to be a ton of fun. Don't miss it. Check us out over there and on Twitter/X @CountdownEnded.
All right, and thanks as always for joining me. You guys know where to find me, or you wouldn't. Spaz, this has been Jake. This has been a very ranty state of wrestling. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.